Did you know that 60% of the Armenian population was exterminated during the Armenian genocide? I think this is an important thing to address and encounter in our current society because we still go through these things that we went through in the past, and we still discriminate and prejudice against certain groups such as, say, African Americans. We will be discussing what led to the Armenian genocide, what occurred during it, and what it has caused that we still encounter today. Specifically, differences in power and religion caused the Armenian genocide. People were murdered and exiled from Turkey during the Armenian genocide, and it has caused death and an impaired culture for us to encounter, and us, the Armenian population, to encounter today. I think I am a credible source and I am a reliable source to speak about this specific topic because, one, my family and I are Armenian, and two, more importantly, my grandparents had to run away and hide to save their own lives, and in a way save my life and my parents' lives. My first main point that I will be discussing is differences in power and religion. History.com staff states that they permitted religious minorities like the Armenians to maintain some autonomy, but they also subjected Armenians who they viewed as infidels to unequal treatment. This shows that because they discouraged their religion and they didn't accept their religion, they just decided to kill them. On the other hand, they tended to be better educated and wealthier than their Turkish neighbors, who in turn grew to resent their success, shows that they were jealous of the Armenians' power and success in that current time, and because of that, the Turkish and Ottoman government decided to do what they did. And this was stated by History.com staff as well. My second main point is about the events that occurred during the Armenian genocide, such as the killings and exilement. Specifically, DoSomething.org staff states that the majority were sent into the Mesopotamian desert to die of thirst and hunger. And this shows the Mesopotamian desert, and this is how the Armenians marched, left to die because they weren't given food or drinks, and they were basically just walking to their deaths. DoSomething.org also states, by 1923, the Armenian population had been completely eliminated from Asia and historic West Armenia. This shows that they were forced to leave their belongings, their family, their home, just because of, again, like we discussed, their power and differences in religion. For my third point, I want to discuss how it has caused death and a disrupted community in our Armenian population today. Specifically, DoSomething.org also states, many were forcibly removed from Armenia and Anatolia to Syria. This shows that, again, they were forced to leave what they were surrounded by their entire life, what they have worked for, like their food, their money, their home, everything. They were forced to leave, and because of that, they're in debt today because they're starting all over. They're trying to gain what they had many years ago. Also, History.com staff states that the Armenians soon learned that what the nationalistic Young Turks wanted most of all was to Turkify the empire. This means that their goal was to change the Armenians to become accustomed to their own Turkish religion, and because of this, Armenians today are having trouble finding their way back to their own religion that they had years ago, because they were forced to leave it behind. In conclusion, power and religion has prompted this evil acts against Armenians in 1915. Abandonment and killings and exilement were the happenings during the Armenian genocide, and it has caused death and a disrupted culture during the Armenian genocide. Finally, I believe that, like I said, it is important to discuss these topics so that we learn from it, and I feel like we haven't learned from it, and therefore we should bring these topics to a conclusion and just learn from it. Thank you for listening.